and that is because it takes us directly to Vrindavan. Every line, and it's very easy to understand. Jai Radha Madhav, Kunj Bihari, Lord is in the Kunjas of Vrindavan. Gopi Jana Vallabh is the life of the gopis. Girivaradhari, lifter of Giriraj. Yashoda Nandan, the darling of Mother Yashoda. Braja Jana Ranjan, the life of the residents of Vrindavan. Yamuna Tira Vanachari, on the banks of the Yamuna, Lord Krishna is Vanachari. He is a cowherd village boy. So when we sing these lines, we should try and remember this aspect of the Lord or picture this while we sing. Okay, we shouldn't be lost. So in this way, the kirtan itself becomes very meditative. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, please sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, 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 Jai Shri Krishna. Shyama Gauri Nitya Kishori Priyama Gauri Shri Radhe Nitya Kishori Priyama Gauri Shri Shyama Gauri Nitya Kishori Priyama Gauri Shri Radhe Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. Navarangi, Navalaki Bhangi, Shyama Suvangi, Shri Krishna. Navalaki Bhangi, Shyama Suvangi, Shri Navarangi, Navalaki Bhangi, Shyama Suvangi, Shri Krishna. Navalaki Bhangi, Shyama Suvangi, Shri Krishna. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. धर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस जगताचार्य श्री श्रीमान शिवाय श्रीराभाय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज जगद्गुरु श्रीपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस जगताचार्य श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ब्रह्मचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की ब्रज भूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मई यमुना मई की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की श्री प्रभुपाद बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की युग धर्म श्री नाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. So you can all just take a few seconds to put our mobile phones on silent mode. Even if our ringtone is Mahamantra, for next 1 hour we'd appreciate if the phone doesn't ring. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvekam Savadutam Parijana Sahityam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूपानुगभक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनकारिणे रूपानुगाविरुद्धाः सिद्धान्तदन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्भोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दगामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्ट सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरहृषे नमः पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतार भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधामदनमोहनौ दिव्यरङ्गारण्यकल्पद्रुमातः श्रीमद्रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीरघोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिविसेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितौ हर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुना तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी कृष्णानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So today we will discuss chapters 17, 18 and 19 of this pastime. How many of you read from Srila Prabhupada's books yesterday? Yesterday. Okay. Once at least since last Saturday. At least once since last Saturday. That includes those who raised their hands yesterday can also raise. So this chapter is these three chapters are part of the previous that section of the previous few chapters also where the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha Jai and Vijay get cursed. In fact, we'll reference to the last few verses of the 16th chapter, and then we'll read 17, 18, and 19. If you've read these chapters, the translations themselves, uh, they cover in detail the whole pastime. So most of the time, what we'll be doing is reading the translations. So this is just going to chapter 16, the last few verses. The Lord then said to his attendants, Jay and Vijay. This is after they get cursed. Who do they get cursed by? Why do they get cursed? They wanted to go and they were stopped. Depart this place, but fear not. All glory is unto you. Though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval. The Lord tells them that there's no fault of yours that you were to be cursed, and I can easily nullify it. But I'm not going to. In fact, my approval is there for the curse. Tension. Lord is supposed to be the one who does always the right things. He's supposed to be the one who gives justice. यहाँ पे तो बोल रहे हैं हाँ तुम्हारे साथ गलत हुआ पर मेरा भी अप्रूवल है उसमें हमारा क्या होगा The Lord assured the two Vaikuntha inhabitants, Jay and Vijay, by practicing the mystic yoga system in anger, you will be cleansed of the sin of disobeying the Brahmanas and within a very short time return to me. The mystic yoga system in anger. So there are these five primary rasas, which we know: Shantyas, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. And there are secondary rasas. One of them is anger. So the Lord can be served in anger also. So positive examples of the Lord being served in anger is Hanumanji, one of the examples. Hanumanji, in anger he burnt Lanka. Here are some negative examples. But negative example also, from the Lord's perspective, there are two things. One is there are teachings from this, and second is there is the Leela aspect. So in the Leela aspect, the Lord is enjoying. And so therefore he needs someone to do that. So that is also bhakti. But we are not supposed to follow that. If we have to follow between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, who are we supposed to follow? Although our tendencies may be more towards Hiranyakashipu, but that is why we are called as sadhakas. There is sadhana bhakti and then there is raganuga bhakti. Raganuga bhakti is spontaneous devotion, and sadhana bhakti is devotion and regulation. Which of the two are we following? Sadhana bhakti. Why? Because that spontaneity is not there in us. Spontaneously क्या आता है हमको वो हमें ही पता है. Spontaneously what we wish to do, we all know we don't want to reveal it. So therefore we need regulation in our life. Chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, read Prabhupada's books, don't eat onion garlic, offer food to Krishna. All of this is meant to evoke and invoke love of Krishna. And the process works. That eventually there will be spontaneous bhakti. Then automatically hand will go in the bead bag, even if the hand is not in the bead bag, like Srila Prabhupada. If he was not preaching, he was not writing his books, he was not lecturing, he was not writing letters, he was not worshipping the deity, he would constantly be chanting something or the other. Sometimes Brahma Samhita prayer, sometimes King Kulashekhar's prayer, sometimes Maha Mantra, sometimes songs of the Acharyas. That is called as spontaneous. हमारा वो हमें 17th round syndrome है for those of us who chant 16th round. बस हो गया खत्म. Who thinks of the 17th round? Unless it's Ekadashi or we go on Govardhan Parikrama or. But hence we are not at that spontaneous stage. So for us, all this, for us it is sadhana bhakti in the mood of the five primary rasas. Which rasa are we trying to cultivate now? Dasyaras, servant. Servant of the Lord, or rather servant of the servants of the Lord. We are trying to be the servant of the servants, the servant of the devotees. The Lord is telling him, for you, this is my plan. Then, as Jay and Vijay fell from the abode, Lord's abode, a great roar of disappointment arose from all the demigods who were sitting in their splendid airplanes. Became disappointed. भगवान ने ऐसे क्यों कर दिया? They didn't know the plan of the Lord. Lord Brahma continued. Those two principal doorkeepers of the personality of Godhead have now entered the womb of Diti, the powerful semen of Kashyap Muni having covered them. It is the prowess of these twin asuras that has disturbed you, for it has minimized your power. He's talking to the demigods. There is no remedy within my power, however, for it is the Lord Himself who desires to do all this. I cannot do. Brahma is the secondary creator, as we have discussed. So, technically, after the Lord, He's the most powerful person. And the demigods know that. So, they go to Him. And what is He saying? The Lord has told Jay and Vijay that He desires this, He wants this to happen. I also cannot do anything. And Srila Prabhupada writes a wonderful purport to this verse, which now we'll read the translation. And we'll read that purport and then you have to open your notebooks. Everyone got? Mataji? Huh? She wrote me a message after the class. Sorry, I did not bring so last time. Text 37. My dear sons, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yog Maya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. That most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on this subject? You understood? They are saying that it's the Lord's desire that this happen. So the Lord has only desired this to happen, and now we are seeing evil omens. So that same Lord will come to our rescue. And he writes, what purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on this subject? इस बारे में बात करके क्या होगा आगे, कैसे होगा, हमारा क्या होगा, ये क्यों हो रहा है? What's the purpose of that? Lord has desired it to happen, and Lord will protect us. What's the purpose of talking about it? Now we'll read Prabhupada's purport, and then you will read it again, okay? And you think about it, and then for 5 minutes you write what comes to your mind about this only, not anything else. About the purport, about what Prabhupada is writing. You read that, we'll read together, you read it again, and then you write whatever comes to your mind, and the pen should not stop. 5 minutes. Okay, and no talking and no peeping. So if you want, there's some space, you all can spread out a little bit. What comes to your mind regarding what is written, regarding how it is applicable, regarding whatever I feel. We just be honest to ourselves. No one is going to look into, no cheating, no looking, and um, a self-reflective exercise. Okay? Purport. When something is arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not be disturbed by it, even if it appears to be a reverse according to one's calculations. For example, sometimes we see that a powerful preacher is killed, or sometimes he is put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into the material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories. But Haridas was punished at the hands of the Qazi by being beaten in 22 marketplaces. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom. Their wife was insulted, and they had to undergo severe tribulations. Seeing all these reverses, seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that in these matters there must be some plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam's conclusion is that a devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord even in reverse conditions is assured that he will go back to Godhead, back to the Vaikuntha planets. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. Okay, now you carefully read again, and then you can think for a minute, and then for the next 5 minutes, you will not stop writing. Please read once more on your own. Okay? Okay, you can start writing now, and the pen should not stop. 5 minutes. Those who've not got pen, paper, type. And next time, please bring. Should not stop writing. Just go on writing. Whatever comes to your mind about this topic, you don't have to think. You just have to write. Things that are things that come to your mind, and also things that are applicable to you. Amit Prabhu, just write. Yeah. We should just go on writing. Whatever is in our mind, we should write. If nothing is there, you write, nothing is in my mind. But write. And you should not stop till I say so. What is my understanding of it? How is this relevant to me? Is there something about this that is troubling me right now? 30 seconds. Okay, you can finish that sentence and then pens down, please. Okay. So this is Srila Prabhupada's meditation on this aspect of the Lord putting devotees through reversals and we trusting the plan of the Lord. You all wrote things related to us. The pastime continues. The next chapter starts with Shri Maitreya said, the demigods, the inhabitants of the higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness explained by Brahma, who was born from Vishnu. Thus, they all returned to their respective plans. So, when Brahma told them, it is the Lord's plan that this has to happen. And if this has to happen, then the Lord will also take care of us. So, what's the point of worrying about it? So, itna sunke, the demigods became pacified. Fine. And that is what each of us has to cultivate in our mind also. This whole big purport that Srila Prabhupada wrote, giving examples of Haridas Thakur, of the Pandavas. In the same way, we can think of Prahlad Maharaj, so many things. Dhruv Maharaj going through that whole difficulty, so many things. We should have that faith that the Lord will protect me. Gaur Govind Maharaj used to say, not that the Lord may protect me or the Lord can protect me, the Lord will protect me. So, with that firm faith, I should fearlessly perform devotional service. Not that my money will take care of me, or my family will take care of me, or my contacts will take care of me, or my intelligence and strength will take care of me. All those things will be rendered useless. And this pastime shows that. Now we'll read about the description of Hiranyaksha's body. Steel frame, giant like a mountain, and like a plaything, the Lord dismantled him. Like a plaything. The Lord took care of him. So, what about our strength, our money? Hiranyakashipu, someone who liked gold, had so much of it, was dispatched by the Lord. Ravan was dispatched by the Lord. So many people. So, our wealth, our strength, our contacts, our influence, our intelligence, our what is that called? Mediclaim policy, life insurance policies, none of those things can protect us. Only Krishna can and Krishna will. He will. It's his job to do that. The six symptoms of surrender: Anukul yasya sankalpa, accept whatever is favorable for devotional service. Pratikul yasya varjanam, reject whatever is unfavorable. Rakshishya iti vishwaso, have firm faith that Krishna will protect. That is a symptom of surrender. Goptritve varanam tatha, have firm faith that Krishna will maintain me. Atmanikshvepa, therefore dedicate ourselves and karpanya, be humble. These are the six symptoms of Shadvida Sharanagati, six symptoms of surrender. So, Lord will protect. So, the demigods, hearing this from Brahma, their fears went away. The virtuous lady Diti, who had been very apprehensive of trouble to the gods from the children in her womb, and her husband predicted the same. She brought forth twin sons after a full 100 years of pregnancy. On the birth of the two demons, there were many natural disturbances, all very fearful and wonderful in the heavenly planets, the earthly planets, and in between them. Sort of evil signs, evil omens. People tend to have these things in mind. Something happens, they say, "Acha sign nahi hai." Something happens, they say, "Acha sign hai." Some eye twitches, it's not good. Some eye twitches, it's good. Some hand may itching is not good. Some hand may itching is good. Some color cat goes by, it's not good. Whatever, all those things. But there are some genuine signs also. And those are happening here as soon as Diti is about to give birth. There were earthquakes along with mountains on the earth, and it appeared that there was fire everywhere. Many inauspicious planets like Saturn appeared, along with comets, meteors, and thunderbolts. In fact, after a year, the astrological alignment is not very good. There are some experts who say that the alignment is similar to how it was during the Mahabharat war, and so they are predicting, mass destruction to happen from 2027 to 2030, 31. The world order will change. Some people are predicting. Srila Prabhupada had said that this was supposed to happen long time back, but by the Sankirtan movement, it got delayed. So it could get delayed again, or it could happen. Either way, just like Srila Prabhupada, when in Calcutta, the British were bombing, the Germans were bombing Calcutta. And Prabhupada was saying, everyone was scared, and I was chanting Hare Krishna. If Krishna wants to protect me, what are these bombs going to do? And if Krishna wants to kill me, he doesn't need these bombs also. So even there may be such things, but a devotee is supposed to have that faith. We may be scared. We may be scared of some, not so nice thing if it happens in our life. But we should quickly remind ourselves. The first instinct should maybe to get scared. That's natural. Okay? Even if we have 15 years in Krishna consciousness, it is recent compared to lifetimes of forgetfulness of Krishna. 15, 20 years is also recent. So the first instinct may be, "Kya hoga? Yeah, what can I do?" But immediately we should take hold of ourselves and remind ourselves that if it is happening, it's happening by the sanction of the Lord. The Lord, that same Lord, will protect me. Doesn't mean I should not do anything about it. But even while I make a plan to counter it, in my mind, this firm belief should be there. My plan is there, but ultimately it's Krishna's desire. My plan may work, it may not work, but Krishna will take care. Krishna will take care. And as Prabhupada wrote in that purport, sometimes great preachers also die, out of accidents or something. So if Krishna wants that, then so be it. That belief we should have. That if my life I'm using in Krishna's service, even if this is it, then Krishna has some plan for me. So that belief, that faith we should have. We should not be scared of आगे जाके क्या होगा, मेरा क्या होगा, मेरा bank balance इतना नहीं है, whatever. Whatever may be our difficulty. Our difficulty may not be bank balance, it may be something else. It may be health, it may be relationship. While we try our best to solve it, and we should have this also in mind that ultimately Krishna's plan is going to happen. So we can pray to the Lord that allow me to align my plan to your plan. So that mood should be there. Then Krishna consciousness is alive. Otherwise, it's just bookish knowledge. So after seeing all these not so good omens, marking these and many other omens of evil times, everyone but the four sage sons of Brahma, who were aware of the fall of Jaya and Vijaya and of their birth, Aditi's sons, were seized with fear. They did not know the secrets of these portents and thought that the dissolution of the universe was at hand. These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel like frames which began to grow just like two great mountains. Steel like frames, their bodies were like two great mountains. And we know what the Lord will do with each of them. So, can we really protect ourselves? Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the crests of their gold crowns. They blocked the view of all directions and while walking shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as if covering the sun with their waists, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. What is girdles? I don't know. Some jewelry belt. Prajapati Kashyap, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. The one who was born first was named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by Diti, he named Hiranyakashipu. In this purport, Prabhupada writes that if you have twins, the child who's born second is the one who's conceived first. Therefore, he's older by few seconds. But he's the older of the two twins, जो बाद में आता है. क्योंकि वो पहले कंसीव हुआ तो वो पीछे रह गया. And then the other guy came and he came out first, and then this guy comes. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu being the elder one. The elder child Hiranyakashipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. When Srila Prabhupada gives us this meaning of the Maha Mantra, dear Lord Krishna, dear Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your service. Srila Prabhupada also says it's like a cry that like the child has for the mother. Prabhupada explains in some purports that that feeling that we have that Krishna, I am not in control, that's actually a very honest feeling. And when we chant with that kind of a mood that Lord, I need you, please engage me in your service, I need you. You see, I'm not even able to listen to the Maha Mantra for more than few seconds. So much I am, hopeless. I need you, you help me. Even such genuine prayers in every round pleases the Lord or not. Srila Prabhupada writes, that is the mood of a chanter. That Lord, I need you. So here, Hiranyakashipu, because he had these benedictions, he felt he doesn't need the Lord. And therefore he was proud and puffed up. When we genuinely feel, Lord, I need you, then automatically that pride is trimmed. It is reduced. That I am not in control. The modern world teaches us to always think that I am in control. I've got this. People write in their WhatsApp that I've got this. That's our pride. So here, because Hiranyakashipu had this, the benedictions, so he thought, "Mera kaun kya bigadega?" I'm very proud. So because of our lives, none of us here are hand to mouth. Therefore, we can also get pride because I don't need God for my meal today. I don't need God to figure out where I will sleep tonight. All that is in control. I don't need God to worry about tomorrow, how will I maintain my family. So that dependence is not there. But although that situation is there, that we are all relatively decent situations in life from that perspective, but still we know how little control I have over my mind, over my karma. Do any of us control our karma? What's going to happen now? None of us. So that should bring some level of dependence on the Lord. And we chant or pray with that mood that I need you. Krishna, I need you. His younger brother, Hiranyaksha, was always ready to satisfy his elder brother by his activities. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulders and traveled all over the universe with a fighting spirit just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold tingling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland, and he rested his huge mace on one of his shoulders. Next time our temper goes out of control, we can think Hiranyaksha is coming into me now. Hiranyaksha temper. Prabhupada translates as Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. Instead of writing Hiranyaksha had a horrible temper, Prabhupada chooses to translate as Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. Next time we goof up after that, we can say, sorry, my temper is difficult to control. Please bear with me. I'm working on it. His mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one and there was no checking him. The gods therefore were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves, even as snakes hid themselves for fear of Varuna, or not finding Indra and the other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power. The chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had all vanished before his might, roared loudly. He went straight to the heavens. He, "Ao Indra, now let's fight." But Indra was gayab. He was not there. And so he roared loudly. After returning from the heavenly kingdom, the mighty demon, who was like an elephant in wrath, for the sake of sport, dived into the deep ocean, which was roaring terribly. So now Hiranyaksha enters the ocean. On his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the hosts of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a blow. It's like there are times in this world also, like when Germany conquered France, there was no bullet fired. Just when the German army entered France, they all gave up. And without a bullet being fired, they conquered France, entire country. So here, all these people just looking at him, इसको shoot करके, stab करके कुछ मतलब ही नहीं है. छोड़ दो. Plan 2, भागो. There's no, the enemy is so formidable. There's no point of even trying to think of fighting. So that's what's happening here. Splendor. He showed his splendor without dealing a blow. Moving about in the ocean for many, many years, the mighty Hiranyaksha smote the gigantic wind tossed waves again and again with his iron mace and reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Varun Dev is the demigod in charge of the ocean. Vibhavari is the home of Varuna, lord of the aquatic creatures and guardian of the lower regions of the universe, where the demons generally reside. There, Hiranyaksha fell at Varuna's feet like a lowborn man, and to make fun of him, he said with a smile, "Give me battle, O supreme lord." Hiranyaksha was expert of sarcasm. Okay, next time we feel sarcastic, we should understand who Hiranyaksha are. So he wants to fight with Varuna. He's showing his superiority, but he's making fun of Varuna by bowing down and telling him, "Oh supreme lord, give me battle." Varuna. Now sometimes when people instigate someone and a person gets instigated, that's all they want to do. They just wanted to instigate him, irritate him, or वो irritate हो गया. But someone who knows better, they know that when to retreat and when to be aggressive. So Varuna, he's a demigod, so he knows better. So therefore he answers appropriately. Thus mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew no bounds, the worshipful lord of the waters waxed anger, but by dint of his reason he managed to curb the anger that had sprung up in him, and he replied, "O dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." बूढ़ा हो गया मेरे से मैं छोड़ दिया fight करना. What's the point of fighting with me? And then he guides him somewhere and he's praising him. You see, diplomacy, demigods. You are so skilled in warfare that you do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in battle to you. Therefore, O chief of the Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention with praise. I'm old. He said, even if you defeat me, what's the value? You defeat an old person. But for a great person like you, there's only one person who can guide. Like Dhruv Maharaj's mother, when he wanted a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma, there's only one person can satisfy that. Because there's only one person greater than Brahma, and that is the creator of Brahma. So you go to him. So here he's, driving him towards death by telling him there's only one great person who can fight with you. Anyone negatively or positively pushes us towards Krishna, they are our well-wishers. They are our well-wishers. So in this case, Varuna is the well-wisher of Hiranyaksha. Of course, Mother Suniti was the positively well-wisher of Dhruv Maharaj. Sometimes someone is hungry, someone will say, "Oh, मंदिर में जाओ, वहाँ पे खिचड़ी मिल रहा है." Comes to the temple, eats prasad. Sometimes someone is just too depressed. मंदिर में जाके बैठ यार. He may say, "Don't eat my head." जा उधर जाके रो, मेरे पास मत आ. Drives him there. Well wisher. It's called a Vartaman Pradakshaka Guru. The person who first brings us somehow or the other in Krishna consciousness is called a Vartaman Pradakshaka Guru. The person who brought us, created that first link. So in Hiranyaksha's case, that is Lord Varuna. Varuna continued, on reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once and will lie down on the field of battle surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. This is far greater than the horrible dialogues that Hollywood, Bollywood movies make. What a classy way to say कि तू मरने वाला है. On reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once and will lie down on the field of battle surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you and to show his grace to the virtuous that he assumes his various incarnations like Varaha. He's telling him also, Varaha Deva. Varaha Dev ki. Thus mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew. Oh, yeah. Maitreya continued. The next chapter, chapter 18. The proud and falsely glorious Daitya paid little heed to the words of Varuna. Oh dear Vidur, he learned from Narad the whereabouts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and hurriedly betook himself to the depths of the ocean. He saw there the all powerful personality of Godhead in his boar incarnation, wearing the earth upwards on the ends of its tusks and robbing him of his splendor with his reddish eyes. The demon laughed, "Oh, an amphibious beast." Looking at Varaha, he said, "Ah, an amphibious beast. This is God? Is this God?" People mock the followers of quote unquote Hinduism by saying, "This is your God." Sometimes you find, like this time when I went on Vrindavan, Govardhan Parikrama, at one place there was this deity of Lord Shiva, maybe made of cement. And because of wear and tear, both hands were cut off. Someone would look at it and mock and say, "ये है तुम्हारे भगवान, देखो, हाथ भी नहीं है." So he's done. Amphibious beast? Really? Your God? He's the supreme personality of hog head. The Lord in the form of a hog. Varahadev, supreme personality of hog head. Although the Lord was pained by the shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing that the earth on the ends of his tusks was frightened, he rose out of the water just as an elephant emerges with its female companion when assailed by an alligator. The Lord placed the earth within his sight on the surface of the water and transferred to her his own energy in the form of the ability to float on water. While the enemy stood looking on, Brahma, the creator of the universe, extolled the Lord, and the other demigods rained flowers on him. You see, on top there's Lord Brahma. And this is the beauty of Lord Varahadev. The Lord shows that even in the form of an unclean animal, if I take that form, I am the most beautiful. So therefore, all beauty, Akarshana iti Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. In whatever form he takes, he is all attractive. So whether to Bhishma on the battlefield, or to the gopis in Vrindavan, or to Mother Yashoda in her lap, or to the gopas while playing, or to Nan Baba while Krishna is carrying his shoes on his head, Krishna is all attractive. To Arjuna when he is consoling him, he is all attractive. The personality of Godhead said, "Indeed, we are creatures of the jungle and we are searching after hunting dogs like you." One who is freed, if you translate that in Hindi, it sounds like some Bollywood dialogues. One who is freed from the entanglement of death has no fear from the loose talks in which you are indulging, for you are bound up by the laws of death. Sri Maitreya said, The demon, being thus challenged by the personality of God, it became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. The Bhagavatam is so descriptive of this entire pastime. It's so descriptive, so much detail for us to be able to picture that, and for us to be able to be taken in that pastime without having to fear like the demigods were. Hissing indignantly, all his senses shaken by wrath, the demons quickly sprang up upon the Lord and dealt him a blow with his powerful mace. The Lord, however, by moving slightly aside, dodged the violent mace blow aimed at his breast by the enemy, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death. So Hiranyaksha is coming with full force, and in a second, and the Lord dodges him. Something that nobody else could have done. It's like in a second, if someone does something, reflexes don't work. कोई पीछे से भाग के आ रहा है और कोई मोटा है तो जब तक आएगा बहुत आसानी से हम जा सकते हैं. But here in 1 second, Hiranyaksha sprang at the Lord, and in less than a second, the Lord dodged it. The creator of time. For him, what is a second or half a second or a millisecond? The personality of God had now exhibited his anger and rushed to meet the demon. Now the Lord is also getting angry. Who, who bit, so the demon bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about. Then, with his mace, the Lord struck the enemy on his right brow. But since the demon was expert in fighting, O gentle Vidur, he protected himself by a maneuver of his own mace. So Maitreya Muni is also adding to the poetic thing. His fight ke बीच say, "Oh gentle Vidur, oh gentle Vidur, you see what is happening." Hiranyaksha is angry. Varahadev is showing anger. Hiranyaksha is genuinely angry. Varahadev is showing anger. And he's dodging him, and then Hiranyaksha is trying to hit the Lord, and the Lord is dodging, and then the Lord is trying to hit Hiranyaksha and allowing Hiranyaksha to also dodge him. In this way, the demon Hiranyaksha and the Lord, the personality of God, had struck each other with huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. You can imagine in all this what is happening to the demigods. हो नहीं रहा है, वो मार नहीं पा रहे हैं. What if, what if, what if what others say is true? What will happen to me? Lord Brahma prayed, "My dear Lord, there is no need to play with this serpentine demon who is always very skilled in conjuring tricks and is arrogant, self sufficient, and most wicked." At least Brahma is praying. The others are, though, their hands and legs are shivering, they're shaking. What's happening? Brahma continued, "My dear Lord, you are infallible. Please kill this sinful demon before the demoniac hour arrives and he presents another formidable approach favorable to him. You can kill him by your internal potency without doubt." I've skipped several verses. The fight is described in detail and what's happening. That's why we should read, because it gives us the opportunity to enter into all these wonderful pastimes. And actually third canto का ये last section है pastimes का. इसके बाद the description of Kardamba Muni and Devahuti is there, and then Lord Kapila comes, and then some 7-8 chapters are Sankhya Yoga, philosophy by Kapila, and that ends the third canto. Very detailed description. Our director Ashwin Kumar would not have had a tough time to make the script, at least the structure of it, because the Bhagavatam itself is giving so many details. Of course, he did an amazing job, but the Bhagavatam is doing such an amazing job at presenting this. In fact, in one sense, if you think about it, the Bhagavatam's description is better than any animated or non-animated movie can describe. So much detail. It's such poetic wonder. So now Brahma is praying that, please vipas karo. Enough, enough. अभी थोड़ा heartbeat uncontrollably बढ़ रहा है. Some demigods may get a heart attack. So please, management will become too much for me. एक दो HOD चले जाएंगे तो क्या होगा? Please खत्म करो. My Lord, the darkest evening which covers the world is fast approaching. Since you are the soul of all souls, kindly kill him and win victory for the demigods. That ends chapter 18. Chapter 19. Sri Maitreya said, after hearing the words of Brahma, the creator, which were free from all sinful purposes and as sweet as nectar, the Lord heartily laughed and accepted his prayer with a glance laden with love. Picture this. The Lord is doing time pass with Hiranyaksha. The demigods are fearing. किसी का हेलमेट गिर रहा है, किसी का कुर्सी से वो गिर गया, किसी को CPR दे रहे हैं, किसी को सलाइन चढ़ रहा है. It's all a mess. Everyone is fearful. And then Brahma goes and he's offering these prayers. Now these prayers, Brahma is probably offering with desperation. हम लोग तो अभी पढ़ रहे हैं, laughing mood. Brahma is offering with desperation. And the Lord is smiling. Why? Because he loves Brahma so much. Why? Because Brahma is doing so much service on the Lord's part. The Lord wants to reclaim all fallen conditioned souls, and for that, He has to give them this facility. He has to give them this facility. धन्यवाद. राधा मदन मोहन की. Please arrange Hridaya ke Prabhu for Radha Madan Mohan. Who brought the garland today? Your service? Anyway, the Lord covered up for you for the broken garland. So the Lord loves Brahma so much for doing this thankless service. Management is a thankless service. Those who are in management, they know it. There is only when something bad happens will people give you feedback, and they will not feel shy to give you feedback. But when things are going well, that's your job. It's supposed to go well. Why should we praise you? We are planning our next yatra to Udupi. There will always be something. That's management. It's dealing with material energy. It is because material energy is imperfect. It is ashashvatam. It's temporary. This will happen. So if someone is doing these things on behalf of the Lord, if someone does some difficult things for you, it's challenging, and if someone is doing it for you, taking care of it, taking rid of your headache, automatically you feel pleased. So whenever we are given any managerial service, it may not be leading a kirtan, it may not be giving a class, it may not be raising money, it may be some serve prasad, clean, arrange buses, or whatever it may be, manage the funds, whatever. It may be a thankless service, absolutely not out of the glamour. We'll only be in the limelight when things go wrong. But we should understand, at least Srila Prabhupada is accepting. He's doing some or she's doing some thankless work for me. So the Lord is very pleased with love. He's looking at Brahma and he's laughing. ठीक है, tension मत लो. I'm on it. I'm on the job. The Lord, who had appeared from the nostril of Brahma, sprang and aimed his mace at the chin of the enemy, the Hiranyaksha demon, who was stalking fearlessly before him. Struck by the demon's mace, however, the Lord's mace slipped from his hand and looked splendid as it fell down, whirling. This was miraculous, for the mace was blazing wonderfully. Somehow the Lord tried to strike him, Hiranyaksha struck, and the Lord's mace fell. You can imagine what's happening to the demigods. As the Lord's mace fell to the ground and a cry of alarm arose from the witnessing crowd of gods and rishis, the personality of Godhead acknowledged the demon's love for righteousness and therefore invoked his Sudarshan disc. Described that when the Lord's mace fell, Hiranyaksha did not attack. So he was following the rules that afterwards I will also not do. So Lord acknowledging his love for right, even the Lord is just trying to see some good in us. So in Hiranyaksha is seeing this good. हाँ ठीक है जैसा भी है just rules तो follow किया उसने. His love for righteousness. And now to relieve him, the Lord invokes his Sudarshan. As the discus began to revolve in the Lord's hand, and the Lord contended at close quarters with the chief of his Vaikuntha attendants, who had been born as Hiranyaksha, a wild son of Diti, there issued from every direction strange expressions uttered by those who were witnessing from airplanes. They had no knowledge of the Lord's reality. And they cried, "May victory attend you, pray dispatch him, play no more with him." Now don't show us some scene कि सुदर्शन भी गिर गया, कुछ हो गया, फिर तो कुछ है ही नहीं. Please don't do that. When the demon saw the personality of Godhead, who had eyes just like lotus petals, standing in position before him, armed with a Sudarshan disc, his senses were overpowered by indignation. He began to hiss like a serpent, and he bit his lip in great resentment. His anger is increasing because he also tried so much, and the Lord is still there. And now the Lord has Sudarshan in his hand and is looking splendid. And Hiranyaksha is getting more and more angry. O saintly Vidur, while his enemy looked on, the Lord in his boar form, the enjoyer of all sacrificial offerings, playfully knocked down the maze with his left foot, even as it came upon him with the force of a tempest. Hiranyaksha, with great force, is trying to hit the Lord with his mace and with his left foot, showing off, just like Krishna lifted Govardhan. He could have easily lifted Govardhan with the right little finger also. But to show, left hand is considered, we assume Krishna was a righty, considered weaker. So here Varadev also. I don't know if you played football, but if you're a righty, your right foot is stronger to kick the ball. Left foot से उसके mace को kick मार दिया and the mace flew off. The Lord then said, "Take up your weapon and try again, eager as you are to conquer me." Challenged in these words, the demon aimed his mace at the Lord and once more roared loudly. Hit in this manner by the demon, O Vidur, the Lord, who had appeared as the first boar, did not feel the least quaking in any part of his body, and more than an elephant would, any more than an elephant would when struck with a wreath of flowers. Hiranyaksha with full might is attacking, hitting the Lord, and it's just like, wreath is that, a round bunch of flowers. And if that goes on an elephant, what will happen? Nothing. So, like that. How entertaining are the descriptions of Bhagavatam? What can be more entertaining than this? At least, glimpses of this realization we get. भले घर जाके we will again get tempted by something on the phone. But still, these glimpses should give us that hope. Krishna is the most attractive. Bhagavatam is the most attractive. And it is just my disease because of which I am not feeling that attraction, and I'm feeling some attraction for some mundane movie or some mundane TV show or some mundane gossip, things like that. The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yog Maya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. गए सब खत्म होने वाला है. What is this? सुदर्शन आने के बाद भी वो हिरण्याक्ष मार पा रहा है भगवान को. What's happening? The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshan, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demons. So he created all these magical illusion If you've read the fourth canto, Dhruv Maharaj's section, so when Uttam is killed and Dhruv Maharaj goes to kill the Yakshas also create all these illusory tricks, and Dhruv is for a second bewildered by it. So here they created all this, the demigods got bewildered, and the Lord released Sudarshan, and Sudarshan got rid of all those illusions. At that very moment, a shudder suddenly ran through the heart of Diti, the mother of Hiranyaksha. She recalled the words of her husband Kashyap, and blood flowed from her breasts. When the demon saw his mace magic forces dispelled, he once again came into the presence of the personality of Godhead, Keshava, and with full rage tried to embrace him within his arms to crush him. But to his great amazement, he found the Lord standing outside the circle of his arms. So if the Lord is right here, he did that, and suddenly the Lord is somewhere else. Any pastime from Mahabharata comes to mind about this kind of hugging? Who did he try to hug? And who saved Bhim? So much anger he had. That old man, Dhritarashtra, old man, could completely destroy that stone statue. The demon now began to strike the Lord with hard fists. But Lord Adokshaja slapped him in the root of the ear, even as Indra, the Lord of the Maruts, hit the demon Vrita. The Lord is saying, mace se marna, Sudarshan se marna, just, tapli mar, just जोर से एक कान के नीचे Lord gave him, just to show that I don't even need to do that. I can kill this demon so easily. The demigods are all waiting. Climax कब आएगा? कब सुदर्शन जाके गला काटेगा? या when the Lord with his mace will struck, and the Lord is thinking, हो गया enough. बहुत ज़्यादा tension में. And now we'll see what happened to Hiranyaksha. Though struck indifferently by the Lord, the conqueror of all, the demon's body began to wheel. His eyeballs bulge out of their sockets, his arms and legs broken, and his hair on his head scattered. The demon fell down dead, like a gigantic tree uprooted by the wind. Just by one. Although stung indifferently, all that other mace and chakra and all was the Lord's entertainment. It was the Lord's entertainment. And then the Lord showed who's in charge, who's actually got it, who's in control. Aja, Brahma, and others arrived on the spot to see the fearfully touched demon lying on the ground, biting his lip. The glow of his face was yet unfaded, and Brahma admiringly said, "Oh, who could meet such a blessed death?" So Brahma acknowledging that this is not ordinary. Who could this person be that who met such a blessed death at the hands of the Lord? So this concludes this pastime. Last 5 chapters were about Lord Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, concluding, climaxing in this. After this, there were 2-3 verses of prayers being offered, demigod's heart rate coming down, them adjusting their crowns again, adjusting their dhoti pleats, and then going in front of the Lord and offering prayers. The last verse of this chapter and thus of this section, Srila Prabhupada writes about the Bhagavatam. Please pay attention. Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, and even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits, such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. That is the supreme sublime result of engaging in devotional service. Ultimately, as well as now. What is ultimate benefit? getting out of the cycle of birth and death, going to Krishna. And now, just like how we, for the last half an hour, were listening to this pastime and feeling some attraction to the Lord and to Bhagavatam. That is the supreme sublime result of engaging in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Repeat. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time. Srila Prabhupada is acknowledging that people don't have time. But we have to remove time, spare some time, and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended 5 items of devotional service, namely to serve the devotees of the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to worship the deity of the Lord, and to live in a place of pilgrimage. Just performing these 5 activities can deliver one from the miserable condition of material life. Srila Prabhupada ki, Tantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Okay, so this is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has written, translated in English, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, and given us his purports also. Now, what do we have to do? Remove some time. You have to open your notebooks again. Now, what you do is you write. Listen to me before you start writing. It's not to do with this verse, with this purpose. Now, what we have to do is we have to write about how was our spiritual life in the last 1 week. Honestly, no one is going to read it. सुबह जल्दी मस्त जप हुआ. Just honest to ourselves, examining ourselves. How was our spiritual life in the last 1 week, and what do we hope? Uh, how do we hope to improve it? Please start. Continue writing. How was our spiritual life in the last 1 week? How was our spiritual practice in the last 1 week? And how do we hope to improve it in this coming week? And the rule is we don't stop writing. The pen keeps moving. Keep writing. And since no one else is going to read it, we will be as genuine as we can. How was my spiritual life? Gopal. How was my spiritual life in the last 1 week? And how do I hope to improve it in the coming 1 week? Practically. There would have been something good which I can write. There could have been something bad which I should address. And then how I will take care of it in this coming week only, not in my life, but in this one coming week from November 23rd to November 30th. And don't stop writing. I have 1 minute left. If you haven't come to the part of what I'm going to do in the week ahead, you can come to that now. What is some practical thing I can do to improve my Krishna consciousness in this coming week only? Not in the month, not in 2026, but from November 23 to November 30th. Something which I can do. And now we can end that by just writing a prayer to the Lord. And with that line, we can stop writing. Okay, you can conclude that sentence and put your pens down. Okay, so some self reflection. How was practically my last week in Krishna consciousness? And what is something I can do to improve in this coming week only? And how we are petitioning the Lord to help us doing that. The Lord is so attractive, His pastimes are so attractive, His Srimad Bhagavatam is so attractive. We just have to, by His mercy, tap into it. And at the same time, whenever fear comes, we need to take stock and remind ourselves that ultimately the Lord is there to protect. So now we'll chant for 10 minutes and remembering these three things which we discussed last time, that the Lord is a person, Krishna is a person, Krishna is fully present in His holy name, and He's dancing on the tongue of the chanter when we chant. So it's 10 minutes, it's not one round. So in 10 minutes, let's not be in a rush to complete one round. And if our round gets over in 7 minutes, let's not stop chanting. We'll chant for 10 minutes. And since don't worry about this being added as one round, so please chant the best way we can. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Ram Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram. And if our mind wanders, we just bring it back to hearing the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram. Krishna is fully present in the holy names, and all we have to do is just hear the holy names. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Ram Hare. We simply have to hear the holy names, and Krishna is fully present in them. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. One more minute. So even if we are inattentive till now, at least this last minute, let us try to be attentive. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Prabhu ki Jai. So we have book distribution tomorrow, and we request everyone to please participate. Over here, we will go to Juhu Beach, and Mataji will be doing in Bandra. There's in Bandra and in Navi Mumbai. Sorry, Jewel of Navi Mumbai. Where is that? Nerul West. Nerul West near L&T Mall. Jewel of Navi Mumbai. Bandra where, Mataji? Bandra at Turner Road. So if you stay near that, you please contact Vamshini Mataji. If you stay near Navi Mumbai, please contact Rashwini Prabhu or Vikas Prabhu. And if you want to come here, then you can contact Hridayagya Prabhu. And we will be at Juhu Beach at what time? 5 to 7. Bandra at 2 to 5. And Navi Mumbai 4:30 onwards. And in Navi Mumbai, they have special treat. They have very nice prasad. Sarojini Mataji makes. Uh, so these three places, please join. Also, please sponsor books. You can participate in Vidyadan. Next Saturday, we will bring forms. So don't bunk next Saturday. And sponsor some Vidyadan. And in this way, let's do whatever we can. Going out on distributing books, donating for books, gifting books, that the books go out. And in this way, we can please Srila Prabhupada. All the very best for your chanting in the week to come. And my prayers to the Lord that your plan which you have made for the coming week gets fulfilled. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Requesting Jagannath